Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
So we run the containers very well, we work with it, but how to consume the container? That's the thing. How to consume a container? Consume a container. Before that, I would like to tell you one more command, which is a special command and which we use most of the time. And that command is, let me tell you, here we have run command. Okay. So run command. Now the question is, what is run command? So for example, run command is a combination of pull plus create plus start plus become. So now the question is, what is a pull? You understand very well. What is a create? You understand very well. What is start? You also understand very well. But what is a become? Probably I have no idea. So how do we understand that if you have no idea? So for example, let's understand this way. What I am right now. Tell me what I am. Who are you? So if I say who am I, and if I see that I am Bash right now, correct? This is a shell, Bash shell. But if I say something else, let's say ps-ef. So if I run this command, I will become ps command. If I run ls, I will become ls command. Okay. So now what you want to become? Let's say if I run the Java, I'll become Java. So here something like this, something similar concept. So here run is a command which is also will do the pull, create and start, and you become that. Okay. Now you know, if you want to understand that what is a become, so let me tell you. Now here you look at it very carefully, guys. What is the services which is running in the container? You see here Bintini, correct? This is the Bintini. Okay. Now if you want to check it out, docker exec, this is the container ID and the ps-ef. You see that inside a container you are running Bintini. Okay. So now if I do this time run, I will not do create and start. This time I will do the run. So now let me show you how you can become. Okay. So for that, let's look at my screen here. Docker run Jenkins. Okay. And you see here, there is a two containers I am having right now. So third container I am creating. So run always create a container. Please hard code yourself. Now I become Bintini. So I lost my the console. I was WinBash earlier and I become that. So I lost my console right now. Okay, you see here. So what is this? You must be wondering, what is this? So this is a Bintini. So I become that guy. Okay. So this is a Bintini. So now I lost my console. Whatever I do, I cannot do anything. You see here. It's a Bintini. Bintini don't understand my command. How the human will interact with the system? Only through bash shell, she shell, bash shell, conch shell, all these things. So now Bintini don't understand my command. So I become. Okay. So if you see here, you can become. Now if I do Control C, it cancel the container. How? I need to talk about. So see here, there is one container Control C which got exited. You see, this is the one which I was talking about 55 seconds ago. So now this is the way you can become. So now let's understand this. How to not become? So Docker run Jenkins. So if you don't want to become, then what to do? Docker run -d Jenkins. So here -d will make sure that not become detach. -d stands for detach mode. Means don't become, do not become. Okay. So it's like this. Now let me try here. Docker run -d Jenkins. See here, I'm still a bash. Earlier I was a bash. Now I am a bash. So here this way I do not lose that. So guys, did you understand the use cases of -d?
Yes. Yes, Rajesh.
Now let me tell you one more concept. Understand that PID1 is important, and this is not only for the containers. Okay, PID1 is important. Why? Let me tell you. You know one thing. Here you have a physical machine, right? Physical machine. PHI physical machine. Now here you have a virtual machine. Virtual machine, and here you have a container, right? Now you know one thing. Physical machine is running. Understand that cause of PID1. Yes, that's true. Your physical machine is running because of PID1 is running. If PID1 is not running, physical machine is getting shut down. Your virtual machine is also running because of PID1 is running. Understand that cause of PID1 is running. Understand that very simple concept. PID1 is important. Now you must be wondering what is the PID1. So here, see that this is my virtual machine. Okay, PS-EF. Now when you shut down this machine, what happens? PS-EF. When you shut down machine, what happens? This PID1 is very important, which is basically holding the system. See, system D, system daemon. So if you shut down this machine, this will get killed. So if this will get killed, your machine gets shut down. So as long as this is running, your system is running. So this is the stuff. Now, so physical machine is running because of PID1 is running. Virtual machine is running. Virtual machine is running because of PID1 is running. So container is also running because of the PID1 is running. Yes, container is also running because of PID1 is running. Now I must tell you one more statement. Please hard code. Here PID1 is your system D. Yes, this is basically calling the kernel. In the virtual machines also you have a system D, but here PID1 can be anything. That's the beauty about this container. Here, when I say anything, it can be Bintini, it can be Binbash, it can be Java, it can be Python, it can be Tomcat, it can be Apache, it can be MySQL, it can be Oracle, it can be anything. But understand that what I'm trying to say, as long as anything is running, very clearly I'm saying, as long as this anything is running, container is running. If anything is not running, container is not running. So container is not running. So now if you see that, similar to that concept, see that, do you remember I did the control C? Earlier I was become C here. When I did this one, look at this, I did this one, I become that guy. Which guy? So Bintini. Remember Bintini was a PID1 for Jenkins container. Do you remember?
Yes.
Yeah. So because of this, I'm become a PID1. I was on PID1. So what I did, I killed the PID1 using Control C. See, Control C, I killed it. So if you see that, see, it got exited. So PID1 is important. PID1 is important. So guys, please hard code this one. PID1 is important. Because of that, your physical machine is also running. Virtual machine is also running. Container is running. But there is a difference. Because of that, there is no kernel in the container. So here PID1 is a system D. And physical machine, here you have a system D. But here PID can be anything. As long as that anything is running, container is running. But the question is, how can you run anything? Now it's up to you how you design the image. There's a many ways to run in the background. One of the easiest way I can tell you.
Container is running, right? Rajesh? Sorry. Container is running, not running. I think you updated it. Not running. Container is running, right?
PID can be anything as long as anything is running. Container is running.
Third line.
Yeah. Correct. Thank you.
Okay.
Guys, conceptually, did you understand this very important statement?
Yes, Rajesh.
Okay. Now I got bored with this container for time being. I have to use some other image. Now what image I should use? So let me use one of the Ubuntu image. Okay. Why Ubuntu? So now go back to the basics again. Please never forget the basics. What is image you need to understand? Now you must be wondering, Ubuntu is operating system. But remember, I am not looking for operating system. What is image? Image is the root file system plus user file system plus application. So here Jenkins image was everything. See here, understand this. Jenkins image has everything. Who's developed? But I will have only this one. Are you getting my point?
Right.
Correct? So it's like this. So now this is what I want, Ubuntu, which is a base image. Why I'm using it? Because I want to teach you that PID behavior. So look at this here. Okay. So now Docker run Jenkins, not Jenkins, Ubuntu. So now run, please, you understand that. I told you very clearly. So it will try to become, but I did. Image is downloading. Ubuntu. CentOS, you can work with any. Now see here, do you have a container running? I don't see the container Jenkins, Ubuntu is running. So where is gone? If I do ps-a, it got exited. So the question is, see, how come it got exited? So if I remember, understand that when I do the Docker run Jenkins, it don't exit. But when I run Docker run Ubuntu, it gets exited. How come? What is the reason? So the reason is, see that. What is the Ubuntu container was having PID? Bin bash. So here what is happening? Same statement is happening. Same thing is happening. Understand that. Because of what happens, bin bash looking for some interactive commands, which it's like an executable. It will run any executable you run. It will exit after the result. It's a behavior. For example, ls. It got exit. If I do something like echo, it will exit, right? So any executable, bin bash is one executable. If you give executable, if you run directly executable, then it will not hold. It will run. It will give you the results and it will exit. Understand that? That's the behavior of it. Okay. So still I am what I am right now. I am
the person you are speaking with has put your call on.
Yeah. So guys, please mute yourself. So yeah. So here what I am bin bash, but I run ls and I again become a bin bash. So it returned after the result. So that is what is happening. So here what happened? I run this bin bash and then it run that and exit, and because of that it was a PID1. PID1 got exited, so container also got exited. Are you understanding my point?
Okay, the same thing I faced with Python also. Yes, sir.
So yeah. Now you understood that. Yeah, same thing which was happening with the Python. But here what was happening? This developer, the image which developed by the developer who developed Jenkins, he was not allowing to exit at all. He is saying, okay, run bintini with some user parameters, but don't exit, never exit. So bintini was never getting exited, and because of that, container was running. So that's a difference. Now the question is, who decides whether my container should run and exit or run and keep running? Who decides? So image developer decides.
Image.
Image developer. So you develop an image, you will decide, Okay, how you will decide, I will teach you, but you will decide whether my image should exit after the running or it should be holding and keep on running in the background. Okay, now for example, one of you had issues with a Python container. It was getting exited. Why? Because Python container, what you will do to run, it's not a web application which you want to run it all the time. You want to run some script. See, if you want to run some bash script, you want to run and come out of it. Simple. Work is done. Finish. Okay. For example, let's see that. Docker run Ubuntu and you want to run something ls. Okay. So you just give me the output, run and come out of it. Then it got exited. See here. Docker ps-a. See that you run the ls, it gives you the output. You see that the output, and then it got exited. So in a Python kind of images or Ubuntu kind of images, you don't want to run every time. You just bother about the results. Results means you want to run Python, let's say some Python script you want to run. So run it and exit, get you the results and you are done with it. Go ahead with the next task. But Jenkins is a kind of application, it's a web-based application. You cannot use it on the command line. It's like a web-based application, 8080. So for that you have to keep on running so you can use it. So now who decides, again back to the question, same question, who decides? Depends on the behavior of applications and depends on the wish of developer of image. Okay. So guys, did you understand this whole statement all together?
Yes.
So if your container is getting exited, do not think anything else. Because you think, okay, the image which I am using, basically, that is being exited after the work. Okay. So that is being exited after the work. So check it out. So that is a thing. Now next thing is, how can I make it running? That's the question. So here, there's a container, there's a way to also interact with the container. So if I Docker run, if I do an Ubuntu, if I do this one, then it will run and exit because the default runtime PID1 for Ubuntu is set bin bash. But this time, you know what I want? I don't want to run it and exit. This time I want to interact with this container. So what do we do? How to interact with container. That's the one thing. How to interact. Interact means what? Human will interact. Always human. Now human, how human interact with the any operating system?
Command line interface.
I mean, which one?
Shell.
Yeah.
Shell.
Yeah, shell. Always. In Windows also you use shell to interact. For example, PowerShell. In Linux also bash shell, Punch shell, C shell, this shell, that shell. So we have so many shells by the way. So human always interact with the shell. So here Docker run. But what? Ubuntu. But don't run it directly. Be in interactive mode. So I have to pass that interactive. I have to say, okay, Winbash, please interact. Don't rush to the finish it off. Be hold, wait, I am coming. So I am saying Docker run -IP Ubuntu. Then here I say you create a container, start the container and become a container. But don't exit. I am going to interact. So let me go inside it. So enter. See here guys. You are inside a container. You are interacting with the container. Who are you? See here. And what is that? CS. Bash. Who are you? Bash. See, bash is PID 1. You are bash. Now, if I type exit, what will happen? See, this is the PID one, right? Bash. This is what I am right now. So, can I kill this PID one? Is that right command, sir?
Sure.
Nothing happened. Why? Nothing happened. Guys, suicide is not allowed anywhere in the world. What you are doing? Who are you first? I am a PID1. And using the PID1, you are trying to suicide yourself. That is not good. Correct? So that is not good. So how can I kill this guy? So if I do exit, understand this. If I do exit, exit will not kill this PID1. Yes, that's true. Exit will kill bash. And unfortunately, bash is a PID1. So indirectly we are killing. Can I do the exit? See? So this container got exited. Okay? So here I told you the behavior of PID1. Now let's one more round. Docker run -it Ubuntu. I am inside a container, new container, okay? And then now you are a bash PID1, but this time I want to come out of it, but without killing the containers. So now if I do exit, what will happen? Because of your bash, you do exit bash will be killed, and indirectly it will kill the PID1, and PID1 kill, container gets killed. Understand that? So what we do in this case? So there is one command to come out of easily. So now question is how to come out of the container safely. Safely, interactive way. IT, okay? And please hard code this one. CTRL plus control plus what is this? Control PQ. Okay? P and Q. Okay? So now can I do that? Control PQ. See, I'm outside and see my container is still running. See here. Still running. Okay? So now the question is, yes, you can interact with the container using IT option and bash option. So let me put it up here. You can interact with the container using IT options. This is the command. Okay. So here I did not use shell. Why? Because I know that automatically Ubuntu has shell. But sometimes if you don't have a shell, you can type like this also. Okay. Right. Did you understand this statement? Yeah. So please try it out and understand that before working with the container, you understand what is the PID1 for that container. That understanding is very much required. Now, guys, now back to my main topic, which I wanted to hold, and that was how to consume container. Okay. So, guys, forget about the consuming container. Why we are giving so much of importance to the container, I don't understand. Because we should learn how to consume VM, aka VM, aka physical machine. Simple. How do you consume? Do you know how to consume VM and how to consume a physical machine? So you can do what? Access through PuTTY, access through command line. Okay? Command line. Or accessing through GUI, web browser, HTTP. When I say command line, then probably you are talking about SSH, right now? Are you getting my point? Correct? Guys, any machine which is running,
Yes.
either you log into the machine through SSH or you browse the machine, some application which is running inside that. Correct? Correct? Now one more thing, how to go inside, how to go inside on the container. So this I will teach you again because there's something which is missed out here. So I'll teach you. So now guys, here for SSH, what are the things you need? Please tell me quickly. What are the component you need for SSH? IP address, no?
Yeah, public key.
Yeah, username and password, correct? Correct, no? So you have IP address, and if you look at this, I was root, so you get the things and you get this one, so you can do that very well, okay? So now you get the IP address. Let me try actually. To be honest, I never tried SSH. The reason was I always use this one and this one, okay? So, but let's try. So Docker PS, how many you have containers, right? So now SSH to work, remember SSH need to be there in the container also. So I want to check, do we have SSH or not? So let me check. SSH. SSH is not there. SSH. No, it's not there. So it will not work. Okay. So Control PQ. It will not work. So I need to install SSH. So the question is how to install SSH. So first let me do one thing. Yeah, that will do that, but I need to teach you first before that. So this I'll come after this. Let me complete this demo and after this also. Okay. So this will try after later on because I need to cover few other topics which is a part of it. So now let's start with here how to go inside a container. So there is a two-way, guys. One is exec way and one is attach way. Okay, attach way. Now what is exec way? What is attach way? So here exec way, I'll keep it in a simple. Exec way, using exec command, you can execute an executable inside a container. Understand that, inside a container. So I think you have seen me doing a lot of time. Let me remind you. See here, exec. What command? Touch command. Exec. What command? Touch command. Exec. What command? ls command. You have seen me doing it here. Exec. What is that? I'm not able to see that. Okay. So here, exec command. What command? ps command. Exec command. What command? ps command. So here, very simple. Is the statement correct? So for example, let me show you the demo again with a different perspective. Now we have one container, this container. Docker exec. What? This container. What do you want to exec? ls. What do you want to exec? ps. What exactly you want to exec? You decide. Whatever executable. So that means that executable should be there inside a container. Let's say you run some command which is not there. For example, SSH. It's not there. But in my host machine, SSH is there. See here. Inside a container, it's not there. My host machine, the VM, I have it. So yeah, I got it. So like that. So did you understand that exec command, what it can do?
Yes.
Okay. Now the question is, my question was how to go inside a container. So here, I think you know that by now, using -it option, you can, and bin bash. Understand that never ever miss the bin bash because the human interacts with the shell only. The interaction always with the shell. Using IT and bin bash option, you can go inside it. So now can I try this one? See guys here, Docker ps, I have this container or I have this container. Can I go inside this? Docker execute which container and which way? IT way. IT means interactive way. So you can use with the run also, which I taught you here somewhere here. IT you can use with the exec also. That's the wonderful thing. And then what you should be doing? Bin bash. Remember, you are a human always. You always execute. So I may repeat few statements a lot of time, but just for some reason, because I have some experience in the past, people usually forget the behavior of container. So see here, I got inside. Now, yes, who are you? Tell me, who are you?
Root.
What is your PID number?
No bash.
What is your PID number?
33.
Yes, correct. And you see the whole system? See here, beauty. See this PID was because of that we run that first time. But you are not one. Understand that. You are not one. You are 33. So even though if you kill 33, nothing will happen. Because I told you very clearly, if PID 1 gets killed, then container get executed. So can I exit now? See here.
To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 399 plan and grow your skills immensely.
Conceptually understand, then you will finding container very handy. So here I'm killing exit. That means I'm killing this bin bash. That means 33. So 33 should not kill the containers. And you see here, still it is running. See, still it is running. See? So guys, this is the behavior of this container with exec. So understand this. The command also I'm writing it. Okay. So this is the command. Okay. So guys, are you clear with this exec concept?
Yes.
Okay. Now guys, what is attach? Yeah. So attach basically, it help you to get attached to PID1. That's all. It's very simple. Now you understand. Whenever we use attach, it helps you to attach PID1. So let me tell you here. Clear the screen. I have a two kind of container. One is Bintini, one is the bin bash. So Ubuntu, if I attach, Docker attach, okay, and container ID. Can I attach where I will go? Can you please tell me?
Bash.
Yes, bin bash. See, I'm on bin bash. And don't try to exit, because if you do exit, you are actually PID1. So don't try to exit. Control PQ. Okay, Control PQ. Now see, it's still running. Docker ps-a. So now can I attach to this container? This container? Not this. These are all exit. Let me do one thing. Docker ps. Can I attach to this container where I will go?
Bintini.
Yes, you got this. So here if I attach to this, I will go Bintini. And Bintini is the guy who don't understand anything about me. Anything. So just understand Control C, and the moment I did the Control C, it gets killed, and you know that what will happen. You see, one Jenkins gone. Earlier we had 3 Jenkins, right? So guys, did you understand attach? Guys, did you understand attach?
Yes, sorry.
Yeah. Now the question you should ask me, I think you guys are not asking too many questions. So you should start asking questions. Where can we use attach? So basically understand that if you want to see the log, okay, of the PID1, then you can see the attach. You can do the attach. Or if you know that PID1 is a bin bash, you can do the attach. Exec, you can exec so many times. You can do exec, execute any container, executable inside a container. And IT option anyways, you know that. So these are the options. Okay. Now this is done. Okay. Now second point is accessing through HTTP. But you know one thing, before that I should finish this one also. So now because you understand this concept very well, I should now play with it. So what I will do, I will check my containers. So right now I have a Ubuntu container bin bash, so go Docker attach. Exec I can do that, but because it's already bin bash, I will do attach. What I want to do, install SSH, because SSH is required. So here, remember root name is root. Then I first set the password PASWD. And what is the password I should keep it? Root 123. Root 123. So I set the password. Now can I install the SSD? So apt get install SSH. This package is not there. Can I update first? This is because that's a lightweight VM actually. Lightweight container, sorry. Lightweight image. Okay, I updated the operating system. Can I install SSH? Yes. I never did SSH, to be honest, because we don't need to do SSH. It's not required. Now why you know that, right? Because of these capabilities. Okay. Now, what is the geographic area? 1, Africa. 1.
So Rajesh, these all the one-time Rajesh.
Huh?
So this attaching all this stuff is going to be one-time effort when we actually first time create a
No,
container.
attach you can do as many times. Attach you can do as many times. Depends on your requirement.
Okay.
Attach exactly up to. But remember always whenever you attach, if you the moment PID, if you are on PID 1 and it gets killed, then the container will get killed. So be sure what you exactly want. You want to exec or attach. Okay? Because it was having bin bash, so I did attach.
Okay.
If it is a bintini, there is no exit command. There is no control P command. So you have to use that exec. Okay? So guys, SSH is stored right now. Okay? Now control PQ, never do this exit because it will kill that container. So Docker PS. So guys, it's running. Now what is IP address? Anyone remember the command to get the IP address? Because I forgot that command. Huh?
Docker inspect container.
Right, yeah, Docker inspect. Yes. grep -i. So guys, this is the one. So now let me try SSH root at the rate of IP address, enter, and connection refused. Ping.
No. Try with the execute command.
What is that?
Execute command. Docker execute command.
Just a second. Docker ps docker execute exec.
But you did not expose the IP, right? How can you?
No. Exposing is not required because accessible, no? Ping. You see here.
No, port number should be exposed, right? 22.
That could be
8080. Only I saw 8080 and 52.
No, 8080 no. For SSH it's like 22 port.
Yeah, SSH is 22, but 22 is not exposed from the container.
Yeah, just a second, hold on.
SSH you can try to IP ID.
What is that? Root, just a second, hold on. Give me 2 seconds. It's not able to route. Confused. So connection is port number 22. Okay. So you have to run it actually. Just a second, hold on. I'll fix that. So Docker hyphen. Just a second, I'll fix this. This is the SSH problem. Docker attach. And which SSHD? And ps hyphen SHD. If not running, that's the problem. So now the question is how to run this in a background. So apt, I think is service, right? Let's get the command from this.
Service start.
Yeah. Ubuntu 16 enable and run SSD. That's the service or systemctl. There should be one command. So for that, I got this. Systemctl enable SSH and one thing, last one, systemctl start SSH. No. SSH start. No. Okay, just a second. Let me open up this. Enable is one thing, starting is another thing. Where is the command? Update. This is done. Install open the server. Status. Okay, let me check the status. Systemctl status. Systemctl status SSH. It's not running. Not booted with the system unit. Can't operate. Okay. So system has not been booted with the system as init system PID 1. So it can't operate. Fail to connect to the best. Host is down. Okay, let me try. Enable. Okay, so just a second, hold on. Let me come back to this. Let's not waste time. Let me come back to this error message little bit later in the downtime. Okay, so I tried to start this as such, but it didn't happen. So control PQ. Okay, now this I will come back later. Now let's move on to this one. Accessing through HTTP. Okay, so understand that here HTTP, that means you have to look at this Jenkins. So can I look at this here? This is the Jenkins. Remember which port it is running? 8080. Now there is a Jenkins has a server node 50,000. So there is a 2 port running. Can I check that whether Jenkins is running or not on the port number? So let me get the IP address first. So Docker inspect container ID, and this is the container ID. Okay. Now can I check first it's running locally or not? The curl HTTP. Sorry. Your IP address and 8080. Are we running this? See, it's running its authorization page for the Jenkins. Now, same IP address, can I run it from the machine? No. So, what is the reason for it? So, understand this. Networking is the one topic which I'll come back tomorrow. Okay. But for time being, I need to help you to understand in easiest way. See here. Understand this. Let me ask you one question before that. I think you are connecting this training from home, correct? Yes. So this is your home and this is my home. And my home, when I say these are the network, okay, my private network. And this is connected through the internet. But you have a one laptop which you are currently connecting, and this laptop has IP address. You are connected to the home Wi-Fi. I am also connected to the home Wi-Fi. Now, from where this IP address you get it? Who is assigning this IP address?
Service provider.
Router, right? No? In the home router, whatever you have, correct? Router provides the IP address, right? Not ISP, router, not IP. Understand that? Okay. Now, if I ping, forget about the internet connection. But if you are connecting on the network, right? WAN network. If I ping to your IP address, will I be able to ping?
No, because we have another public IP.
Yeah. The reason is my IP address which assigned, the scope of IP address is local. That means only till home network. So any machine which is, that's a local. There is no forwarding has been happened. If you want to forward that if you want to that forward to happen, you need a static IP. Static IP address which is accessible globally. Right now you don't have, the IP address is locally, it is local. Now same thing happens here also. Understand this. This is the one my VM, and VM got IP address, and this VM got IP address. Because of that, I am accessing it, this VM. But the problem here is the container is running here. This is container. This is a container. This is container. Container, whatever the IP address you get it, it's a local container. Don't get IP address to out of the scope. So that's the reason I'm not able to. I can see here Docker. Sorry, ping. See here, ping. I can hit the IP address. This one. See, I'm able to ping. But I can, if I hit from the my system, ping. See, not reachable. So what is the problem for that? So if it does that, the IP address whatever you have is not accessible outside. So here, what can be done? So guys, this is called proxy or port forwarding, whatever you want to call it. Port proxy, port forwarding. So what happens? And nowadays this concept is used by all the cloud providers. Understand that. If you have used the AWS, they use this concept, Azure or Google Cloud or anywhere. So Docker is using also same thing. Okay. So this is called port proxy concept. So here, can I reach to this IP address? Answer is yes. Now, what happens? Whenever you hit to this IP address, you have ETH0. Okay. ETH0, which is a network, some single network. And this whole network is managed by the Docker proxy. Okay. Docker proxy is on same bridge, Docker bridge, which is like a router for you. For home router. Docker 0 is a virtual router for you, something like that. Okay. So here, ETH0 and Docker 0 in the same network. Let me show you here. I'm not talking about the networking now. I'll talk about a little bit later. So here, Docker, if concept. See here. This is the physical network of my machine and this is the Docker 0. This is a bridge. Okay. Same location. Okay. So now it's same location. So when I hit from my machine, what you can do, you can enable the proxy. So when you hit to this some particular IP address, let's say 81, okay, or 82 or 83 at the host machine, okay, then ETH0 will send that proxy to this and this guy will send one connection to this 81, 82 to this, 83 to this. Now all this port is running, all this container is running on 8081. Understand? 88. So basically, this is a port proxy, port forwarding. So container is running on the same port. But here you created a port forwarding. So when you hit 81, it redirects to the first container. When you hit the 82, it redirects to second container. When you hit the 83, it redirects to third container. Did you understand conceptually?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Now the question is, how can we do that? So guys, there are few changes you have to do in the networking file, route resolve conf and few files in the host information and stuff like that. But are we doing manually? No, not at all. So now, how can we expose the port to outside? So Docker now run -d Jenkins. You know that this command very well. Now this command will not be exposed, but if I try this command -t external port 80, internal port never changes. Okay, one container and second container 8081 and this never changes. Remember, this is the container port. So run always create a container, new container, run always create a new container, but this time they will expose also 80 and 81. So guys, here I have so many containers right now. I want to get rid of it. You know, there's so many containers. I want to clean them. I want to show the clean demo. So the command is Docker delete and stop and delete. Stop and remove all containers. Okay. So there's a command for it and I will run it. Let's stop first and cleaning up in one go. Stop all and remove all. Okay, so here you see Docker ps-a. There is no container, everything is great, everything is clean. Can I run this command now? So here, press 1 and 2. So now guys, I got the two containers here. See, when you see exposing, it says 8081 to 8080, 8080, 82, 8080. So it's the external port. This is internal port to the container. So now, remember you have to use the node IP address because you only can reach to the node IP address. So I have a IP address here 8080 one container and another container 8081. See here, the Jenkins is accessible. So yeah, if you are outside, and this is how you can access the container. Guys, any questions so far? Any questions so far?
Same thing can we do for the load balancing also? Like this side the port will be same.
Load balancing is having two rules. One is like IP address can be different, port has to be same. So here load balancing cannot be possible, no, because here you have 81, 82, 83. It's not the same, right? You remember?
Yeah. This side will be same. This we should not change it. But when we hit right, based on the load, it should go to the different container. Is that possible?
Here in this scenario, item P option not possible, but there is a way to do that. I can teach you that one also. But here, remember, load balancing has a concept, different IP, same port. That is one. Here, if you load balance here, if it is external load balancer, think about it. Then it cannot be done because port is changing. But can you have a load balancer inside it? Yes, that is possible. So here it can do that directly load balancing on this one. So internal load balancing can be possible.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Any other questions? Okay. So I think let me recap the stuff before moving to the next topic. So see that I said the behavior of Docker run also, and then become and do not become. We tried. Please try it out. We also discussed good amount of time on the understanding of the PID one. It's very important concept. Please hard code. You have to practice also. Okay. How to interact with the container. So one is like a shell. I'll come back to that. And that is here. Sorry. How to interact with the container. Of course, you have to use the shell, but in a exec mode. So run -it you can try. How to come out of the container, you can try control plus here. How to consume a container, like if you want to go inside that, there's a two way, exec way and attach way. Accessing through the containers, HTTP and all stuff like that. So any questions, any doubts so far? Okay. Now guys, what I have done, I have created one page. And we have listed all the commands, whatever we have in the document. Okay. So this all commands I divided into a few sections. For example, first command, working with the container, monitoring container, working with images, working with registry and repository. Okay. So here, let me finish this one today, working with the container. So I will ask you a question if needed. So here, now attach. Any questions? Guys, attach any questions? Okay. Now CP command I am not covered. Let me complete that as well. So what you can do actually, so there is a container. See here, there is one container, Jenkins. So if you want to copy some file, let's say touch, okay, and here DevOps school.txt, vi, this is the content of it, I love Docker, okay, saved it. This is the container. See, this is the file, and we have some content. Now what you want, I want to copy inside a container. So how do you do that? That command is cp. For example, docker ps, docker cp, which file? DevOps school.txt. Which container you want to copy? Here I want to copy. Where inside a container? I want to copy under the tmp location. So can we put it up? Yeah. Can I check? Exec container more tmp. See, file is copied. Can I copy it back from the container? So here I will delete from the current location just to make sure that. See, now can I copy back? So yes, you can do that. To current location. See, you got the content. So this is a way you can use the container, copying the files and stuff like that. Okay, guys, is that clear? Copy command. Guys, any questions?
Right.
Okay. Create command. Any question? Create command. Any question?
Do we have any, single command to create multiple containers at the time?
No. There is no command for that, but there is a way to do that.
Okay.
There is a way to do. Guys, any questions on the create command? Okay. Now diff command. So what is a diff command will tell you? Understand that. Just it would display changed, added and deleted from a time of created, from a time of container creation time, from container created time. Simple. So here, diff command, it would display changed, added, deleted from the time of the container. So once you create a container, this is a thing will be displayed. So let's use this one as a demo. So docker run -itd ubuntu. What I'm doing, look at this here. Run, but what? Ubuntu. So it should not exit the container, so it. And I should not go inside the container, detach mode. So there's one container I created. Here it is. Ubuntu. Now what I want to do, I want to go inside this container again. Docker attach container ID. So let's do one thing. Let's create some OPT file and touch DevOps school.txt. One file is added. Can I change some file? Existing file. Change some file. How to change it? Which file to change? Issue.net. I don't know what file is. I am changing the file. So vi issue. Vi is not there. I don't want to install the VI because I don't want too many added files. Okay. If I install the VI, it will become too many files. So it will be very difficult. So I'm using cat and issue.
To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 3D99 plan and grow your skills immensely.
Appending some content. Okay. D. Now if I see more, issue, see content got added, correct? Huh? So this is done. So guys, one change done, one new file. Can I delete one file from here? Let me delete issue.net. Done. Control PQ. See here. Oh. Can I check the diff now? See here. I changed this file. I deleted this file. I added this. Did you understand this? Guys, did you understand this?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. This will do the wonder thing. Guys, exec, do you have any questions? Guys, exec, do you have any questions?
Any limitations while using exec? If something will damage the file system, so how do we make sure to control such actions?
There's no harm in it because exec will execute anything which is inside a container, and you do this one a lot, don't you? Let's say you install VM or physical machine, you keep running those executables like MS Office. See, Notepad, I'm using every time, so there's no harm in it as long as you are using for right purpose. Correct? These are executable are meant for
Any change we make, any change we make inside the container using the exec command, right? It will not be maintained once the container stops and start again. Right?
No. It will be maintained. The changes will be lost only after that once you delete the container.
Okay. So stop won't maintain.
No problem with it. It's like that. VM, if you stop, will you lose the data? No. So if you stop the container, also you will not lose the data. But if you delete the container, then you lose the data. Okay, guys. Now inspect command we have already used. This time we will try this time with a detail. Kill command we have used it. Pause command done. Port command. What is a port command? So port command will tell you that what are the containers port is exposed actually. So docker ps docker port. So here if I use this container, there is no port exposed. But if I use the Jenkins container, it has a port exposed. See, it's exposed. So that way you can use the different containers and different things. Okay. PS command we have used it. What is a rename command? So guys, if you look at it very carefully, docker PS, see there's a different name is coming. Okay. So this name, who is assigning each container? So in Docker, whenever you create any object, like a container is one object, okay, image is one object. So whenever you create any object, Docker will assign very unique name to each container. That's the by default. It's a behavior. Okay. So now the question is, if you don't like this name, then what do we do in this case? No problem. You can rename it. Docker rename it. Which container? This rename. Okay. This is a web server. Okay. And now you see here, I rename it. But if you look at this, I want to give it a new name to begin with. So here ITD Ubuntu. New container I am creating from Ubuntu. And here I want to give the name to start with only. Web 2. Done. You see here, Web 2. So this is the way you can name it or rename it. It's up to you and put it. Guys, restart is done. RM is done. Run, I have explained it to you. Start, I have explained it to you. Stop, I have explained it to you. Demo also, stop also, unpause it. Now only two things. This is update and wait. This is the assignment I will give it to you, because if I show you everything, what about you? You have to do something like that. Okay, so guys, any questions so far on this? Any questions?
Yeah, Raj. At what cases we can use the start command?
Which command, ma'am?
Start.
Pause.
Yeah.
Pause. Okay, that is the assignments which I have. So if, should I give it you the answer now or later?
Yeah, no problem. Give it later.
Yeah. So you try to find it out. Yeah, try to find it out. Yeah. So find it out for me. Okay. So now I'll give you assignment. First assignment, number 1. You need to find it out, pause versus unpause. And okay, one more thing. Please do not tell me the definition which you find in the Google, because that I can also read it. You need to teach me in easy language. That means the technical specification. Okay. So this is the assignment number 1. Now this is assignment number 2. Okay. Stop versus scale. This is assignment number 3. In this, you don't have to use every package. You have to only, because I have taught you the behavior of containers very well, you have to teach me how you play with it. If you can use Tomcat, I don't know who said Tomcat, but whoever said, someone said Tomcat, Apache, Node.js. So you have to use not Ubuntu and Jenkins, which I use in my demo, but you have to use your program, images, and see that if you are comfortable with the concept. Also read that hub.docker.com documentation. They have a more better documentation. This is the one. Now there is assignment number 4, and the assignment number 4 is, you need to tell me what is these two commands are doing. Okay. So now 15 minutes to 20 minutes you will do the lab following my things which I explained it to you, each and everything. You have a commands also, and then these 4 assignments, you with a cool mind, you will find it for me and tell me and teach me. Okay. Any questions on this? Any questions on this?
Please enroll our general membership for $399 plan to get access of all the parts.
Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the $399 plan and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.